Bienvenidos amigos to another show of Cafecito with Rosie on air from Studio 24 and in downtown Tampa. Sergio and Andy, you guys rock. And today I have a good friend of mine, Jorge Vazquez, visiting us.
Yes.
And this guy right here is the guru in Tampa of anything that has to do with property management and then owning properties, selling properties, commercial, a little bit of everything. I have followed his journey and I'm so happy to call him my friend. So good morning. Hello, Jorge. How are you?
Hey, Rosie, where are you today?
You're
You're here with me.
here with you.
That's awesome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. We've known each other for a long time.
Very long time.
I told my wife, hey, I'm gonna meet a friend. It's almost like a sister to me.
Yes.
It's been a long time. So thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Well, and I've been following your journey for so long, and you are one of those elite, I would call it, Hispanics that have taken your business so serious and make it so successful. And one of those things that I admire is that you might not have all the tools and resources, but that you hone them and you find them and you continue to persevere until you find the secret sauce, right? And we're always learning for that secret sauce. But let's start with who you are, what you do, and how you help the community.
Awesome. My name is Jorge Vazquez. I'm the CEO of Graystone Investment Group. I've been in real estate for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to doing real estate, I was a financial advisor for many years. I've always liked to help people, so there was no more better pleasure than helping somebody with like retirement accounts, 401ks and stuff like that. But when I started doing real estate back in the days, a lot of the clients said to me, we like the annuities, we like the mutual funds, we like the 401ks, but can you tell us about real estate?
Mm-hmm.
So that happened 20 years ago. So my job is to help people retire early as possible, but with a combination of stocks, mutual funds, and also real estate. I bring the real estate part of it. Been doing it for 20 years, done 3,500 transactions. I've done every strategy that you could think of, flipping, bird, novations, sandwich leases, subject to short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, you name it, I messed it up. At least once, I've been able to mess it up once. And so hopefully through those mistakes, I'm able to provide the education, and hopefully you guys don't make those mistakes.
Right.
Yes.
So I've been reading the Slide Edge, listening to it, and one of the things that they say there is successful people fail their way to the top. So again, you made the mistakes, you failed at these things, but you persevere. So whoever learns from you, those mistakes, they're going to learn because they already happened to you. And they're going to say, hey, watch out. This is what happened to me. It might happen to you. It might not happen to you. But now it's like the race that they are running is shorter than the race that you ran because you tried every single, and you fell and you got up and you kept going. So whatever took you 20 years, it might take them 10, right?
Yes.
And that's amazing. And you said, so you started trying to helping people. Now, I think one of the talking about like the traditional market, they always says, oh, you speak Spanish because that Hispanic market is the one that we want to tap into. But you and I sometimes know that some of Hispanics are not ready to hear.
Yes.
So how were you able to kind of overcome that culture? Them trying to put you in a corner, in a box, but you understanding that not every person, just because they speak Spanish, is ready to succeed or to make this investment or this decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when somebody asks me what has been the reason for your success, I boil it down to two things. Start with something you're passionate about and never quit.
Right.
That's it. So as long as you do that, just like Michael Jordan said, as long as you do it for 10,000 hours, whatever the case may be, you become an expert. And what we lack as society is consistency, Rosie.
Right.
Consistency, especially the new kids or my kids, they want to do something for a couple of days and quit.
Yes.
So that consistency is important. And but talking about, I picked my niche.
Mm-hmm.
I got really good at it. And I never told the market, I'm going to go for the Hispanic or I'm going to go for the Americano, or I just said, who needs me? Come to me. And it happened to be not a lot of Hispanics. I think that nowadays Hispanics are more in the front line of investing. 20 years ago, no. There was nobody. I would talk to 100 people and they wouldn't understand the concept. I think now with online and blogs and stuff like that, people are more educated than ever. But yes, I just found that focusing only in one community only wasn't what I wanted to do. Right.
You have too much wealth of knowledge just because somebody wants to put you in the box and say, oh, you serve the community. No, I speak Spanish, which is one of the things that I tell people. I happen to speak Spanish, but at the end of the day, the Hispanic market, I can serve it, but it's not my target market. As a matter of fact, my target market for Medicare has always been professionals, people that they're retired from a long-term profession, let it be a blue collar or people that just don't want anything to do with insurance. They know they have to have it. They know they have to deal with it, but they want to take care of it and never think about it until they need it.
Well, you said a target market.
Right? Yeah.
So as you starting to figure out what you love, that you're willing to do for the next 50 years, and then you said, I'm not going to quit on it, then you figure out what your market is.
Right.
And then whether it's Hispanic, Chinese, whatever the case may be, you stick to that market, right? So it's not about not wanting to help a specific community. It's about what gives the most synergy to your business plan.
Right.
I didn't know any English. When I got here, my English sucked.
Look at we're having a whole conversation and a whole thing in English.
Yes, I didn't even know how to say, can I use the restroom? I remember I went to high school here and it was so difficult. People judged me because of my accent. I'm sure
right.
had that happen. But you kill them with knowledge.
Right.
So anytime somebody comes to you and says, well, I don't know this and that, you Hispanic or you're from another country and you're thinking, okay, well, I cannot do it. That's not true.
Right.
I did it with the biggest accent in the world. Most of the people wouldn't even understand me most of the time. Plus, my voice is kind of like this, rough, So, but at the end, if you show passion, knowledge, that shows, right?
Right. Your confidence, and that's the confidence. The confidence of knowing it. Like I can sit down after 20 years of doing this. I can sit down and I know what these people want. So it's very. You can. There's this thing that says. Experience eats training for breakfast, right? So when you come in and you know these things, and you're so right. I remember, I think did you go to, what high school you went to? Gaither. Okay, so my mom teaching that one, but my brother and my sister went to Robinson High School. And of course, we used to live in the projects. Yeah, we used to live down in South Tampa in the projects. And my brother is getting beat up by this group of kids because they thought my brother was not Hispanic. So they caused my brother-in-law, which now is my brother-in-law, 20-something. They've been married with my sister for so long, maybe more than that. And so he's grabbing this bat to kind of go and get these kids that they were beating up on my brother. And he says, well, why are you beating him up? And he says, because he's not Hispanic. He says, he's from Ecuador. It's like, oh. And so he had to pick up my brother from the floor and take him back. And it just was this whole thing of, in high school.
Tampa has changed a lot.
A lot.
I mean, when you think about, this is a funny story. Back in, 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yes.
If I had any friends from New York, California, it was almost like embarrassing.
Right.
It's the first thing they'll say, like, what is there to do? I was like, Ybor. I mean, there was nothing else. And I don't know if you dare to go to Ybor, but that's all. But now you got, wow, I mean.
Yeah, you have a plethora of things.
But it's the new San Francisco. I mean, we're taking off like crazy. But still a lot of opportunities for investments. Anybody can do it. If I did it.
Right.
Like I didn't know any English at all. I didn't know any real estate at all. I just had a dream and a will to stay on it. Anybody could do it.
And the grit and resilient. Yeah, yes. That's those things that I share in my book.
Oh, nice.
Like, the 4 components. purpose, persistent, persevere, and pivot, right? So the purpose, what are you here for? What makes you, like what you say, what is the passion that you have that you can talk even if you don't get paid for it, right? And then the persistent, you continue. You persevere because now you are making money. Now you are happy on where you are. And then you pivot to either help others or diversify your portfolio, diversify your products and things like that.
You said something so important that it just hit me, right? Like when you talk about something you like without getting paid and you still want to talk about it,
right?
You got the right product,
right?
Or you got the right thing,
yeah,
the right strategy, right?
Yeah, and that's, I think to me, it's not Medicare. People say, "Oh, you're the Medicare expert." Yeah, I love Medicare because I can do it with my eyes closed. But what drives me is helping people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's, so it's always been that connection that, oh, this person needs this, and let's just put them together. And I don't get paid for that. It's more, and that one is more of the confidence people have on me. Oh, you know, and I love it. I love that my friend says, "Rosie, I'm looking for this perfect person for this job. Do you know anybody?" To me, that is, oh my God, what an honor that a friend of mine remembers that I have all these connections, even though sometimes I don't have this connection. But then somebody comes in and says, "Hey, Rosie, I'm looking for a job." And I look at these things and I'm like, this will be perfect. And it's just helping.
Karma.
Huh? Karma.
Karma.
Yep. Karma and helping.
I used to be when I was a financial advisor for the bank. I've been number one anything that I've ever done because I'm so passionate about it. You know, I don't sleep. I work all the time. But my boss said to me, I was one of the number one bankers for Tampa for a while, and she saw me one day at a Starbucks. On the line, talking to every single person on the line, said, "Hey, you want business?" And through helping people and good karma, you get connections. Look at that. I knew somebody was going to call me. I perceived that, right? Before somebody called me. And so through good karma and connections and helping people, you get more business.
Right.
And anybody could, the connections, you never know where the connections come.
Right. You know? And this is the thing. And this is with John Maxwell, that's what he says. If you help others achieve what they want, then you will achieve what you want, right? And then you become that person. I want to do business with Rosie, or I want to do business with Jorge. But like, so if my family and I, again, they're gonna kill me. But again, from our relationship, we bought this building, and then eventually the building in 2 years we sold it, and now we have a little bit of our nest egg, which we call this our future seeds for our future generations, you know. And now we are doing the investment, the flipping, and it's more my brother, right? Because that's his dream and that's his passion. Where, if you can tell people where should they start, what they should look for if they want to, because everybody has to do this, and then there's a trend and something happens. So what do they have to look for?
It's a secret, okay? The secret to real estate, okay? Here's a real estate table. It's about bringing something to the table, okay? Because people say to me, "I don't have any money." Well, drive around the next street or by your neighborhood, find a distressed property, knock on the door, and see if they're willing to sell. Now you got a deal, right?
Right.
So if you don't have money, what can you bring to the table? It's a boots on the ground, looking for properties, being a bird dog, looking for properties and stuff like that. And it's as simple. I used to have a mentor, rest in peace, he died a few years ago, Andy Phillips. And he said to me, "You have all of these people out there sending mailers and putting bandit signs and trying to get attentions from sellers. All you have to do is knock on doors and drive through different neighborhoods, look at properties that look distressed, where the lawn is pretty long, and leave your business cards and say, 'Hey, I see that this property is not well taken care of. What's going on?'" Right? So you don't need money. It's about what you bring to the table. So if you have the money, things become a lot easier, right? So let's say in average, to buy, and I've done the math in my head 1,000 times. So in order for you to become an investor, let's say you have the money and you want a team around you, you need 20% down, bottom line.
Yeah.
And the average property, cheapest average property you're going to find in Florida is probably $200,000. So you know that's $40,000 plus, let's say closing costs $50K. Somebody to start off with minimum, if they just want to bring the cash, maybe $50K. That means you bring the cash and you have a project manager, will assign everybody else, and you don't have to do nothing else. And of course, if you have $500,000, $1 million, it becomes easier
Right.
to do. Well, finding the team is easy. If you have $5, $10, $20 million, this is not for you. One single property at a time, it's not worth it. It's beyond my pay rate, and you gotta go out there and buy apartment complexes. But now, if you have zero, you have nothing. You have the dream, you have the youth, or you have the time, period. Then you bring something to the table, boots on the ground. You either go to different investor networks, identify who are the people that are doing stuff, and say, what are you missing? What are you missing from the process? You need somebody to sweep the houses. What do you need within the process that I can learn and be next to you and help you? And now you insert yourself in the process.
Right.
So you're having OJT, right?
Right.
At work training while getting paid at the same time.
Right.
So it's all about what can you bring. So somebody without money could be, funny enough, the guys that get really good about doing it without money make a lot of money.
Right.
They just drive around, find properties, put band signs, knock on doors. But it's all about who you bring. You might say, I don't like driving. But I'm a people's person. I can put people together.
Right.
Okay, so then go network and put an investor with a seller with a buyer. It's all about what you bring to the table, but you don't need the money for sure.
Yeah. It's the willing and they call the sweat equity. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
And I did not understand how. So when we got this building, right? Okay, this is the money we have, and this is down payment. I think the guy, which was a relationship that I had, he was very reasonable. He wanted 30%, but my brother kind of negotiated, and we got, I think it was 25%. And then we had to come out with $300,000. Now it's 5 of us, and we had to come out with $300,000. And so I had some money, a little bit. My sister had a little bit. My brother had more of the knowledge. And then my parents sold their home. They were about to sell their home, and they took everything. And that's how we came out with that. With those, it was about closer to $300,000 that we had to come out with. So one of my mentors, Fernando, says, that's actually, you did that with your family, but you can do that with all your friends. If you have a really good property, right, that then you go ask your friends, hey, I have this property, I need some cash, and then you get 10 people or 5 people that give you $10,000. There you go. That's the $50,000 right there. And I never thought about, that's part of the deal too, is coming in there and bringing all these resources together.
You said something so important, Rosie. I forgot completely to mention this. So you either are the boots on the ground, or you also do, you put the people, they put the people together.
Right,
like you said, you do that, or you have the knowledge. Because if you start with the lower hanging fruit, being the boots on the ground, helping out. But eventually, as your knowledge grows, I don't put any money in any other projects. People come to me and say, hey, Jorge, you want to do this? I'll give you 10% ownership, and you just put it together. And what is the situation? Well, it's under probate, or, the mortgage is on default. Can we assign it? Can we take it over? And knowledge eventually. So you could do boots, knowledge, or money.
Right.
But you don't need money all the time.
Right.
So that you put that group together, that's exactly what investors do.
Yeah.
They identify which area am I going to be, and then find the rest of the team.
Right.
Within your family or not.
Yeah. I mean, my family, like now, when we talk about it, I mean, we're not millionaires, but we have a millionaire. And now with my brother doing this other flips and stuff like that, and I would like to go in some commercial. There's a property there that I got it. I already have it, and I have walked around and made it mine, in my vision, because I really do believe that it's a wonderful property, and it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's where everything is growing around, and it can be kind of like a boutique hotel and stuff like that. So it's one of those things that I'm just like, But, again, never into this thing that we were going to be magnates, the real estate. But what we had and it started is with me, my parents meeting this person, me getting into business with this person. but knowing that this person at one point was going to retire and he needed to sell his plaza. And I went to the deal. The deal was Mr. Longo is his name. I said, I don't need an office, but I will pay your office for 2 years with the understanding that when you're ready to sell this plaza, you sell it to me first. And it took about 2 years.
Oh,
Okay?
Congratulations.
Because it was during the pandemic too, so my office was closed.
Nice.
It was the Rosie Polson Enterprises Business Center that was closed most of the time. But the thing was that once he was ready, I remember I was with my whole family eating at Sunrise Eatery in Zephyr Hills, and I saw the phone number and I said, Mom, Dad, family is like, shut up, because this is the call. And it was him calling me and saying, I'm ready to sell the property and stuff like that. And not knowing again, because one of the things, I read this in the 10X book with Grant Cardone, commit first, figure it out later.
Yes.
Commit first. Like, we're going to do this 2 years later. Okay, now we're going to figure it out later. So I went in with my brother the first time, and then, my brother did the negotiation. And we have a really good team. That's the beauty of it. My mom and my sister are more of the working bee. So come clean this, go do that. Yeah. I'm more of the relationship and stuff. My brother is the negotiation and the numbers guy. And my dad is the one that just make you feel like $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So when we have this get together as a family and investments, everybody wants to be part of that. So,
it's like you said, it's about coming first and figure it out later.
Yeah.
And I think that's the narrative that most of our audience should take with them home. Is most of us don't dare to dream. They don't dare to take the first step. But the irony of it is that those are the same people that have 100K in the stock market, 200K in the stock market. Right now, the stock market went down 1,000 points. The NASDAQ or one of those went down yesterday. So here's the irony of things. Here's the paradox, right? There's millions of people out there with $100, $200, $300,000 in the 401k. But when you engage them in regards to buying their first property, they're terrified.
Right.
Terrified. And you go, well, wait a second. Piece of paper, tangible, stocks could disappear tomorrow. How many times have you go visit the company?
Right.
Knock on the door, check their financials. But you invest away, right? Because that's tradition.
Right.
That's tradition.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, if you get presented an opportunity like that, you go all in, and now, can you make the same money on 401k?
No.
As they go. So, well, how do we get through people, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a risk. It is what it is. You go for it. You figure it out, just like you said, because that's what triggered that thought, and you will figure it out eventually.
Yeah. And I think is that when we come in from another country or whatever, is that poverty mentality that we have to overcome, because that's what that self-improvement and self-development, right? It's where you have to be. I mean, you did not speak English, but you probably were reading every single book there was to be the best version of yourself. And 20 years later, look at the success story.
I was very lucky. I call it you stay within a specific dimension of reality, right? And most of us do not come out of it.
Right.
Well, we have a hourly job, minimum job.
Right.
Back then, $4.25 an hour, and we're just hoping, counting the pennies. Man, next year I'm gonna make $4.50. Next year I'm gonna make $5. And you're so scared of coming out of that bubble, that dimension, I call it, until somebody gives you the opportunity.
Right.
Because I can remember being there, pushing cars, looking at different nice cars, and saying, "Man, how could I ever afford a Lexus?"
Right.
I mean, and then somebody gave me an opportunity to open up a small detail shop and stuff like that. And the minute that I was able to make $10 an hour or $20 an hour doing my own stuff without a boss, I'm like, that bubble burst.
Right.
And I was never the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you take people from their bubble, pull them out for a little bit,
right,
so they can see what reality is, and then put them back in. They'll be cute.
Right.
But most of us are
Right, you're going in that circle, that rat race, and you have to. And it's that 2% of those individuals that they think outside the box, and it's so scary.
People smarter than us, like people smarter than us, stay within the bubble.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation. The time has flown so much, but why don't you tell people about what you were telling me that's gonna come, and there's some news that you want to share.
Okay, so I can talk about my company a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my company is Graystone Investment Group. Actually, if you Google Invest in Tampa, we're the #1 in the world out of like 40 million searchers. Invest in Tampa. We help investors build portfolios of properties. Doesn't matter whether you have $5 or $5 trillion. We come up with a plan for you. We'll do that. And there's a membership involved. There's a membership for people that want this cater service. It's $4,000 a year. Performance guarantee. So if you give us $4,000, you get all the money back when you buy the properties. And we also have an educational portal, an academy. It's called the Property Profit Academy. It's going to be $99 a month. I don't know if I was supposed to say no.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. We want to make sure this is your time.
Yes. So that's going to be coming out soon. I'm very excited about it. We recorded 50 videos on the first course. And it's going to go from what is real estate, why real estate, different strategies, and how you could get started. And it's only $99 a month. So we're going to be, that's going to be launching in the next 30 days. GraystoneIG.com is our website. Thank you so much for having me. I hope we could do it again.
Awesome. Yes. So remember, guys, listen, I met this guy 20 years ago, and look how far he has come. $99 a month, it's nothing. If you want to be successful, invest on yourself. It's like the Discover card, priceless. So my friends, thank you so much for watching us. Stay pure, stay positive, and stay inspired. Ciao.